Hi there. This might be a really big chance to make a lot of money, because right now it could be super easy to grow your wealth a lot if you know how. People often say you can get rich when times are tough, and it looks like we're heading that way. Even though this might sound bad, tough times happen pretty often. But if you use them right, you can set yourself up for a really good future with some great deals. Even Warren Buffett, a famous investor, once said that bad news is a good thing for investors. So let's talk about what will happen in the next 1 to 2 years, the best things you can do now, and how you can make sure you're ready to make as much money as possible. Okay, before we dive into the best chances coming up, you need to know what challenges you'll face. First, let's talk about a recession. Usually, during a recession, lots of people lose their jobs, paychecks get smaller, people feel less sure about spending money, and the value of things like stocks, food, energy, and services can drop. This can affect the whole world for a long time. Second, when there's a recession, companies often make less money. They tell us how much they earn every few months and what they think will happen next. But these days, many are saying they expect to earn less, which could mean a recession is coming. This hasn't happened so much in the last 10 years. Third, let's talk about layoffs. When people make less money, they spend less. Then, companies see they're selling less and start cutting costs, often by letting go of workers first. If you search mass layoffs on Google, you'll find lots of companies cutting jobs. As Bank of America says, the US might start losing 175,000 jobs every month soon. Let's talk about what all this means for you and your money, and how you can use this info to earn more. First up, stocks. Right now, the 3 big stock indexes have dropped by 20 to 30%. Experts like those at JP Morgan think they might fall another 20% from where they are now. But looking back in history since 1946, the average big drop in the stock market has been about 30%. The biggest one was in 2009 when the S&P 500 went down 57% from its highest point. Usually when the market hits its lowest point, it's a sign that things might start getting better. I'll talk more about how much money you can make from this soon, but next, let's discuss real estate. Every place is different, but it's actually rare for house prices to drop a lot all over the country. Over the last 60 years, there have only been a few times when prices went down more than 10%. But now, most experts think that house prices in the US might go down by 7%, or even 10% to 15% if interest rates keep going up. Some places might see prices drop by up to 25%, like parts of Florida, Arizona, Idaho, and Southern California. This could last for 12 to 18 months. However, if you have a fixed-rate mortgage and plan to stay in your home for 5 to 10 years, it might not affect you much. But if you're looking to invest or buy a house, you might start seeing some good deals, which I'll talk about in a bit. Now let's move on to the third point, cash. Until now, people thought keeping cash was a bad idea because its value goes down with inflation. But when the prices of other things are dropping, keeping cash might be the safest way to protect your money. Even Ray Dalio, a super rich guy, says cash isn't bad anymore. People often forget that back in 2018, having cash was the best way to make money. If you had saved your money in an account that pays good interest, you would have done better than the stock market. Now, cash is so important that even big money managers are keeping more cash than they have since 2001. Citigroup says cash is the best way to protect yourself in a recession. But what can you do to earn money from this? Here's what you need to know. The next recession could be a rare chance to do well. First, things get cheaper. While some may think it's bad to invest when prices fall 30%, smart people see it as a chance to buy things for 30% less. Warren Buffett said something smart about this. He said when burger prices drop, we're happy. When they go up, we're sad. It's the same with everything we buy, except stocks. When stock prices fall and you can get more for your money, people don't like them anymore. So change the way you think, because a dropping market can actually help you. The second reason is there's less competition. When times are tough, big companies cut back, some close down, and they try to save money and play it safe. This gives smaller, more daring companies a chance to stand out and take their place. For instance, a study of 16,000 companies showed that those who kept advertising during hard times ended up being worth more and growing more after the recession. The third reason is, there are a lot more chances to do well. A recession is like the market's way of getting rid of weaker businesses. A smart investor compared it to a forest. In a forest, the biggest trees get all the sunlight and resources. Small trees struggle to grow. But like how a natural forest fire clears out old trees, a recession clears out weaker companies, giving new, smaller businesses a chance to grow. The fourth point is that after every big market drop, there's usually a big rise. Yahoo Finance says that usually the S&P 500 goes down about 29% during a recession. But after it hits the lowest point, the average gain in the next year is 40%, and in 2 years, the market usually goes up by 58%. This means investing while prices are dropping can be better than waiting. And over time, the market has always bounced back in every case in history. Finally, the fifth point is you need to act before everyone else figures it out. It might seem easy to say, I'll invest during a recession, but the tricky part is, recessions aren't officially declared until much later. For example, the Great Recession started in December 2007, but it wasn't announced until December 2008, just a few months before it ended. The recession before that began in March 2001, but they didn't say it was a recession until November of that year. Usually, it takes about 6 to 12 months before we really know we're in a confirmed recession. To make money from this situation, here's what you can do. Cut down your spending. This means watching your money closely, spending less on things you don't need, and putting as much money as you can back into the market. You should also plan for what you do if your income drops by 20 to 50%. Think about how to make up for that loss and ways to prevent it from happening. Keep some cash. I believe it's usually best to invest your money right away, but having cash saved up can give you peace of mind. For me, cash is about 15 to 20% of my money, depending on the time of year. This has let me grab good deals when they come up, and I feel better knowing I have a backup. Look after your job. This is the best way to protect yourself financially. The worst thing isn't the market dropping, but losing your job at the same time and having to sell your investments when they're low. Now's the time to get better at your job, learn new things, and really focus on your work. Invest for the long term. The best way to invest is to keep doing what you're doing and not worry about what's happening. Buying into the market regularly, a strategy called dollar cost averaging, is usually the most profitable. So stay in the market and keep investing. Spread out your investments. If you can't handle a 20% loss without worrying, you might be taking too many risks. For example, if all your money is in US tech stocks, think about adding other types of stocks, or even real estate, where rent money is more stable. The more different kinds of investments you have, the better your chances of doing well, even if one or two don't work out. Overall, this is a good time to work harder, maybe start a side job, and learn as much as you can. What you do now will pay off when the market gets better. It won't be easy, but it will be worth it for those who keep going. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more weekly investment tips. Leave a comment below, and happy investing.